Hello, everyone. It's so good to be here as always. I'm in my little nook, super coffee with my dog here on the side. So, in some of my other videos, you probably heard him breathing. So, anyway, today, what I wanted to talk about is how you probably need to do less. Do less before you add more. And this has come to me over and over again in my life. And it has been something that's been a little nugget that you probably hear across the self-help space over and over again, how keeping a clean space and removing things before you add stuff, like just simply by cleaning out your closet before you start adding more items, how when your space is clearer, how you open up more space for less anxiety and cloudedness in your head where it seems like there's just so much going on, and sometimes this is taken away simply by making sure your space is clear and somewhat organized. Also, this shows up a lot in something as simple as life and routine and ritual, and how a lot of times we don't need to necessarily add more. We need to evaluate what we're already doing and seeing maybe we can subtract something. Maybe what we're doing already, we can make it more of a ritual by making it more intentional. And when we start getting busy and when things are a little bit shifted for us, because, for example, this really showed up when I moved across country, like just getting my footing and just figuring out a flow of things. And also, it shows up too when I feel as though I need to move fast to actually get something done. When typically you can take your time and still actually get that same thing done, probably in the same amount of time. But when we bring more intention behind what we're doing, something as simply as drinking our water, or before we take our supplements, maybe we talk to them and thank them for what they're doing for our bodies. And actually, when we wake up, not necessarily looking immediately at the screens that we have here, like not being on social, and just taking a moment to be with ourselves, put our hands on our heart, and really just check in with ourselves. And this is something I do initially with my clients when they come into my container, just taking a look at the routine that you're already doing and noticing what we can subtract before we can add something there. And I think we're in a society where it's already about what's wrong with you, what we need to do more of, when there's less emphasis on what we can actually subtract, like doing less. And I know that there's a whole soft life movement going on, and this is super attractive. However, there needs to be a balance, and it depends on your design and what you are more likely to lean toward. But I do believe that there is some validation in some of the talk out there that you do need to sit back, learn to sit back and lean back. And it's really about tapping into your own inner wisdom so that you can trust yourself more and you can make decisions from a more sovereign place. And that just means that when you make decisions, you can make it more confidently. You can actually stand for yourself, even if it feels uncomfortable. And that's where this comes in. So notice where you can subtract and decide to take one thing and subtract that. And when this first showed up for me, it was right after my divorce. I literally, my body said that because I was already doing a lot and I enjoy being active, but my body said it is time to do less. And so it was like I was being punched to do less than I was doing before. And when I was able to do less, I was able to tap in to myself even deeper. I was able to feel even deeper. And before, this felt like something was wrong with me. I was in consistent thought that something is wrong with me. And this still comes up for me today. rarely, but it comes up for me really thinking that there's something wrong with me because I'm feeling this way. And when you are doing inner work and you're in a growth mindset, there will never be anything wrong with you. And the reason why I say this is because there are just opportunities for you to grow and for you to learn even deeper. So check in with yourself and really decide, is this serving me? Does this bring me joy? And if it doesn't, and it's not something that you have to do, then just remove it. Just take it out and see how you feel after a week. I believe in my last video, I was just talking about being the CEO of your own life. This is part of being a management of your life. And this is part of the path to the begin to actually feel free and to be deeply embodied in that sense of feeling free. You become more comfortable with discomfort. You understand that mistakes are opportunities for growth. You have more trust in yourself when you make decisions. And when we subtract these distractions that are in our lives, these things that don't necessarily align with us anymore, and maybe they did at one point, and judging that, not judging that and saying, okay, this may have aligned at one point and now it doesn't anymore. And that's okay. Letting it go, if it's ready, if you are able to let it go and open up space for you to actually hear yourself. Because I think we make this very complicated a lot of the times. And a lot of the times we are distracting ourselves so heavily that we cannot hear ourselves. We sometimes are judging ourselves for what we already know is true. And we don't even want to look at that side of ourselves because of that. And this is where the deeper work is. This is where the freedom comes in, because we can actually listen and show up for ourselves and be honest with ourselves and just be willing to hear and to listen and to understand. And when we are open to that, then we are open to learning about ourselves deeper, which helps us to feel more connected to ourselves. And then hopefully we become more connected to others. So things that don't cost anything that you can subtract from your life: screen time, friends that no longer align, random distractions that you don't have to necessarily do anymore. Maybe learn what you reach for when you feel like you have to distract yourself. And before you reach for that item, notice what your body's really asking for. Ask yourself, what do you really need in that moment? Is it comfort? Is it to be held? Like, just check in and see before you reach for that distraction. And ask yourself, what makes you feel drained? And just do less of that. And try this out for a week. And of course, if you've read, I think it was Atomic Habits, they put in there, or it could be another book, that it takes 66 days to make a new habit really stick. And instead of being super disciplined about the 66 days, just try it out for 7 days. And then after the 7 days, then say, okay, I did this for 7 days. Let me do it for 7 or 2 more weeks. Because I did it for 7 days, let me do it for 2 more weeks. And just continue to keep it in that manner or form, and just make what you're already doing more of a devotion to yourself. And I believe that you'll notice a lot of things shift. So if this spoke to you in any way, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.